Snowboarding simulators are plus or minus that. There was a time when Electronic Arts and 2K Games were releasing games from Sys's X and Amp series, one after another. But in recent years, these publishers were into soccer and basketball simulations. Only Ubisoft does not forget about winter sports, although they try not to devote their games entirely to snowboarding. That in Steep, that in Riders Republic, it is only one of these disciplines. As is often the case, independent developers are trying to fix the situation. A small group of Foam Punch has recently released Shredders. It is suspended that the creators of Shredders initially tried to create a game in the spirit of sports simulation of Xbox and PS3 era. The dialogues are delivery ridiculous, the characters are comical, their faces are completely covered with buffs, and only by the jaw moving funny you can understand that they are talking. All the voices are also not too professional, some of the actors as if they were recording their remarks on a tape recorder. At the same time, there is a lamplight atmosphere. It seems that the plot clips should cause shame, but in contrast to the Sim Riders Republic, this does not happen. They think apparently that Ubisoft are serious. The developers really think that Atlas in really talk like that, and the authors of Shredders sometimes allow themselves self-irony, to not prolong the story clips, and sometimes joke pretty good. The fourth wall also breaks down. Some of the weird moments are perfectly explained by the fact that it's a video game. That's why it's hard to call the plot bad. The game somewhat reminiscent of the old MTV shows, whose participants were not afraid to look funny. Shredders tells the story of two snowboarding YouTubers trying to develop their channel with cool stunt videos. They are spotted by a representative of the fictional company 34 Indie, through which the guys do not only gain an audience but also get to meet the stars. The professionals are eager to get in touch and let the heroes both learn new tricks and complete with them. Gameplay of the game cannot be attributed to either a full simulation or a simple arcade. This is something in between. The character is quite hairy, does not turn around quickly in the air, and it is not magnetized to the rails after the jump. There is no side thing that after the first two levels you gain thousands of points with a few clicks. As in Rider Republic, here you have to learn everything gradually, although some inconveniences prevent this. But nothing prevents you from using Rewind, just like in Forza Horizon. At any moment you can roll back a few seconds. The control is quite easy to get used to. Left stick you turn, right stick you brake, holding RT you get ready to jump, then release the button to make the jump. Before jumping you move the stick to spin in the air or to flip. The LB and RB buttons do the grabs, and paired with the stick you can do more tricks. Everything is taught gradually. A primitive table at the beginning of each mission is divided into two parts. The left side contains the task, and the right side contains tips reminding how to do this or that trick. The open world is here, and it is certainly not as huge as a Ubisoft's game. You can barely drive around it if you want, just choosing the next mission in the menu and getting to it quickly. It's hard to know which missions are mandatory and which are side missions, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, Shredders will be completed into nice. This is not a service game that keeps on multiplayer and upgrades, but a complete work, where after the story remains only to entertain yourself, and for example collecting icons scattered around the map. It will be possible to do a bonus test, which are in almost every mission. For example, you will be asked to perform a special trick or crash into the letters of the word shred on your way to the finish line. Many tasks you complete on the first try, including thanks to the aforementioned hints. The game doesn't have an encyclopedia or just a list in the menu listing all the tricks and how to perform them. A controversial decision because even games like Oli Oli have a similar section, and it is especially strange when the developers forget to mention in the hint the tricks that are required to demonstrate for the test. The missions themselves, by the way, are very diverse. Now you follow a professional and try to repeat his tricks, then you break his records, air, dry or racing van, or you are asked to jump on rails. Tasks are constantly changing, and the tracks do not follow the same roads. The occasional hindrance is that it is not obvious when you are driving along the road commencing by the actors, and when you are leaving it. Take it for example, race against professionals. If you suddenly bypass your opponent, you can after a couple of seconds to be outside the track, because he went the other way. There were no sign, you just did no guess. This does not spoil the impression. Just such truffles once again proved that a small team worked on the game. The developers estimated their strength, so they did not add more sports disciplines, did not try to create the illusion of the living world, and did not introduce races with a dozen of opponents. Well, optimize this did not help the game. Sometimes the frame rate sags and a couple of times shredders crashed, but this can be probably fixed, and the first part with correction has already been released. At the same time, the authors managed to attract to the project several companies producing sports equipment. Among the cosmetic items are items from Oakley, Daikin, The North Face, Barton and other companies. Altogether there are about 150 items, including hats, jackets, pants, backpacks, gloves, helmets and more. Create your own character is not allowed, but a variety of clothing in bulk. The list expands almost after each completed mission. And if you love snowboarding and know all its stars by name, you can wear their favorite things. The disciplines indicate who wears that in real life. Shredders is reminiscent of Garbage Pail's music release. Everything is raw and made on its knees, but that's what makes it appealing. For those who miss similar games from the generation of consoles before last, this is a gift. No matter how silly the plot is, no matter how crooked the interface is, there is soul in it all and a desire of the developers to offer their vision of a snowboarding simulator. Almost all the necessary elements in place, and they are made at the good level. A long time is not memorable, but a couple of evenings will thoroughly brighten up, especially if you take the game with an Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. So to sum up, pros of the game is stupid but funny story clips, ability to quickly select mission from the menu and just as quickly get them, not the worst control for snowboarding simulator, and 150 branded cosmetic items. And disadvantages is no menu with description of available tricks and nothing to do after a completing story. So if you like snowboarding, you can try.